A history of Christianity in 15 objects. How could I not start with the cross? The balm of life, the cure of woe, the measure and the pledge of love, the sinner's refuge here below, the angel's theme in heaven above. The cross is an object, if I can use that word, which is recognised all over the globe. Or is it? Not very long ago there was an international survey that showed 88% of people recognised the big yellow M of the McDonald's logo, but only 54% recognised what the cross represented. And yet the cross is as potent a symbol as the world has ever seen. George Bernard Shaw said, "We've always had a curious feeling that although we crucified Christ on a stick, he somehow managed to get hold of the right end of it." The cross might be a contested symbol today, but it's undoubtedly inspired some of the greatest works of art the world has ever known. Paintings, music, poetry, sculpture, literature, all these have often found their noblest expression in depictions of the cross. Artists through 20 centuries have been profoundly moved and inspired by that enigmatic figure hanging lonely on a cross, dying such an extraordinary death. The human spirit is constantly arrested by that strange sacrifice and finds it irresistibly rich. When the National Gallery staged the Seeing Salvation exhibition in 2000, it proved to be a runaway success. When Mel Gibson made the film The Passion of the Christ, it broke box office records. Any choral society in the country is guaranteed a sellout if it puts on Handel's Messiah or Bach's St. Matthew Passion. Something very profound is being touched. But when you think of the cross, I wonder which one you think of. I mean, you've seen thousands of crosses all your life, in churches, in paintings, on television, in films, hospital chapels, round people's necks, ugly, beautiful, large, small, so many. Which do you think of when someone says, the cross? Which cross are we talking about? Well, the cross, of course, the cross of Jesus. And according to legend, that cross and the crosses of the two thieves were found by St. Helena, the mother of Constantine, around 330 AD, during the excavations for the great church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. The relic was preserved in a silver receptacle after a lot of the wood had been distributed to churches throughout the world. And of course, early in the morning, last October, I queued up, like so many others, to kiss the ground in which that silver receptacle is placed when I was there on pilgrimage. There's huge power in these objects, these stories, these places. St. Ambrose in 395 is the first person to connect the discovery with Helena, and although he was followed by people like St. John Chrysostom and Paulinus, St. Jerome, who lived quite close by, is silent on the matter. So, who knows about that cross? But the cross, the power is in the symbol, not the historical object. But each time people try to represent that symbol physically, they're making a statement about the meaning of the cross. And I have various crosses that, in this lecture, I will be showing. But there is a concomitant danger with all the different crosses that I will want to talk about. The danger is of people becoming over-familiar with the cross and diminishing its power. We can domesticate it and drain it of its fury. We miniaturize it by putting it round our necks or on our lapels. We even, God help us, make a fashion statement out of it. You may have seen the big, bold jewellery crosses around the necks of celebrities. Pure bling. They might not appreciate it being pointed out that it's actually like having a little gas chamber around your neck or an image of a plane flying into a tall building. We'd never cast those in silver and wear them round our necks. So it doesn't pay to get too close to the cross. It's high and mighty and perhaps best seen from a distance with a sense of perspective. For one thing, the gospel writers don't encourage us to get too close. They write their accounts of the Passion with extraordinary reticence. They just tell the story. They give us the facts. They give us little details, certainly, but they don't try to get too close to paint a lurid picture. For another thing, the cross is so horrific and alien, it's hard to get near anyway. It's just not part of our world in Dedington or Oxfordshire or the West generally. We need some distance from the cross to see what's actually going on. We're not in a competition over who died the most horrific death. And here's another reason for not trying to get too close to the cross. We might try to possess it, to make it our own, or the church's. Trying to possess the cross, or possess Christ, or possess the truth has been the tragic downfall of so many ideals and so much church history. The bigger truth is that the cross isn't up for private ownership. The cross towers over the landscape of time and simply isn't for sale. So, where are we left? Well, I find talking about the cross as an object is really incredibly hard, because that object keeps on slipping into prayer. I've said it's too colossal and towers over the landscape. It's also too intimate and takes our breath away. When I survey the wondrous cross on which the Prince of Glory died, my richest gain I count but loss, and pour contempt on all my pride. Were the whole realm of nature mine, that were an offering far too small. Love so amazing, so divine, demands my soul, my life, my all. The cross is the central feature of the Christian faith. That was the great explosion that occurred 2,000 years ago, and we're still collecting the debris. I think we always will be.